everybody, it's me, Hetty. I'm back, and what are we about to make? We're going to make us some Natchitoches meat pies. Natchitoches meat pies, if you don't know what they are, you can Google it, or maybe you've had some before. But they're really good, and they hail from Natchitoches, Louisiana, and if you know my videos, I grew up born and bred and raised in Louisiana. And every year we drive down and go to the Natchitoches Christmas Festival every year. Loved that thing. And we'd always have to get Natchitoches meat pies while we were there. But my daddy always could get some frozen too, so we just grew up eating them. That's all I can say. And this is the way I make them. They might not be 1000% exact, but they're pretty dead on if you ask me. So with that, I'm going to bring you back and go down the ingredients list, and then we'll start cooking, okay? We'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Let's go down this list of ingredients so we can get started cooking, because this is going to take a little while to make, but well worth it. Alright, I've got about 2 pounds of lean ground round. You can use ground beef. I'm a little over 2 pounds, but that's alright because I'm a little bit slightly under. I couldn't get quite a pound of ground pork, and I didn't have any other in my freezer, so I'm about, you know, just barely under a pound of ground pork. That's okay. Try to stay close to 1 pound and 2 pounds. Okay, and I've got my Holy Trinity here, and we'll go over that in another video if you'd like me to. And I've got 2 large onions minced, and if you watch my videos you know I like minced onions. And finely chopped here, I've got bell pepper and celery. Okay, and I've got 2 bell peppers, and for those y'all, bell peppers are green peppers you call them, but 2 bell peppers chopped up fine. And I've got I've got a little over a cup of chopped celery here because I just finished off the stalk, so it's a little bit over, but that's okay. You want about 2 large onions minced and 2 bell peppers minced, and about a little over a cup or so of celery. And also for my spice dump, I've got 3 teaspoons of salt. I've got 3 teaspoons of Cajun Seasoning, and once again, I make my own Cajun Seasoning, so if you want that recipe, I'll throw up an annotation for it. I've got about a rounded 1/4 teaspoon of Cayenne Pepper, and I will taste that later and adjust that if I need to up a little bit. If you don't like hot, you don't want too much of that, but start off with about that much. And I've got about 3/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and I will also adjust that as well. Later on, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of flour, and I've got that right here. We don't need it, so I'm going to set it to the side, but we are going to need it. And I've got garlic. I've got about a little over 4 cloves worth here. You can adjust that down to 3 if you want to, but we like garlic in our family, so I use more. I've got a little over half a cup of chopped green onion. It really adds to it. You could go without it, but if you're going to make it authentic, you need the green onion. So get you some green onions, and you want to mince them real fine. You see how I've got those really thin. And you add those at the end when you're going to simmer it, okay? We're not going to add that in with our Holy Trinity, okay? So, I've also got 2 cups of beef broth. You can use water. The beef broth just adds a little depth to it. And with that, we're going to get started here. And what we're going to do is we're going to saute off our Holy Trinity, but I always start off with my onions. Seems like they take a little longer to get cooked, but I like my onions done well. So, we're going to start with that. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my onions going here. Let me dump this in. I'm going to get these onions going. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to get my Holy Trinity all sauteed off for you. I'm going to get the Holy Trinity all sauteed off. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my meat going. And I'm going to have to switch pots. And then we'll come back, and then I'll bring you in on that. So when I come back, I'll have my Holy Trinity sauteed off. And also, I'll have my meat and pork, my beef and pork, beginning to be browned, okay? And then we'll come back and we'll go from there, because I got to switch pots and I got to move some stuff around, okay? We'll be back. Okay, everybody, we're back. I've switched pans now, and I'm just, this is still a little underdone. I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but I wanted to show you a couple little things. Now, I didn't have a lot of grease in here, but I just want to show you a little trick I do. First off, with these meat pies, before I forget to tell you, you don't want any big hunks. You want it to be chopped up pretty fine. This is my pork and my beef together. And it's underdone on purpose. But I just want to show you a little trick. I take a little paper towel. You know, you can drain this in colander if you want to. Now, I've done most of it already, but you want to show you an easy way? I just go in here, and you know, sometimes you got more grease or something. I just go in here, I just let it absorb that way. And I just kind of move that paper towel around the edges. Gotta be careful though, it's kind of steamy. Just get that down in there. You go around, I've done it already. I just want to show you what I did. And I don't know if you can, the camera's picking that up, but it takes that grease out of there. So that's just a little tidbit. Because I didn't have a lot of grease in here anyway. So that's an easy way of doing it. Depends on what kind of meat you're using really. And you don't want every little drop. If you notice, I didn't get every little drop. I got a little bit. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but I'm leaving a little bit. You need that. That adds flavor. You just don't want it greasy. Alright, that's pretty good right there. It's a little underdone. And now we're going to go back and add the Holy Trinity in here. And no, I didn't burn it, but I do want to tell you, my phone did ring. I got sidetracked for a minute. Isn't that terrible of me? There's one or two little bitty brown spots in there, but believe me, it's just all good anyway. So we're going to stir all this up together. Incorporate it well with our meat. Uh-oh, I forgot to put the wedding ring back on after I mess with that dough. I know you're all just dying to know. Yes, I am happily married, but I forgot to put my wedding ring back on. I know you're all just standing in line. Oh, me. Alright. Got this stirred up well. So then, now is the time. Here's my spice dump. Cajun seasoning, salt, pepper, and cayenne pepper. Gonna add that in. I don't have this on high heat right now. Adding in my garlic now. I don't want to miss that garlic. I want every bit of that. Alright, I got you. Alright. And then also, we're going to add our green onions in. Alright. We're still going to need our flour. We're still going to need our beef broth. But not right now. I might add just a little bit of the beef broth in there, because we're going to simmer this now. Low simmer. And if you can control your heat, you want that to be in between 190 and 200. That's a good low simmer. I want this to all meld together with the flavors. Alright, so we've got that. I'm going to add just a little bit of beef broth. Just a little bit, not much. Maybe a quarter of a cup just to get going. Check that. Yeah, it's perfect. Just kind of got the bottom a little wet there. We're going to cover this. And we're going to simmer this for about 30 to 45 minutes. We'll see how it goes. And you'll just want to come in and stir it every once in a while. Keep an eye on it. Don't walk off. You don't want to get a phone call like I did or something. If you did get a phone call, you sit there and stir while you're talking, okay? And we're going to get this going. I'm going to get it almost done, and I'm going to come back and we'll show you how to finish it off with this flour. Okay? And then the next step will be rolling out my dough, cutting it, and getting it ready to fry. Okay? And you can bake them too. I think I'd said that before. I hope I did. You can bake an Natchitoches meat pie as well, but authentically they are fried. So that's the way we're making them tonight. I may bake a couple off just to show you. Okay? We'll have to see how it goes. Alright, let's simmer this and we'll be back. Okay everybody, we're back, and I want you to look at this meat mixture here. It's loose. I want it to be loose. I did use all my beef broth. I don't always use all my beef broth, but I did this time. And so it's a little bit loose. And now here's what we're going to do. We're going to add in our flour a little at a time. A little at a time. You don't want to dump this all in there. You don't want lumps. So I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit in there. And then we're going to stir, incorporate this in. This is going to thicken it up really nice. I may not need all my flour. I'll go ahead and add a little more. We'll see how it goes. And we're just going to stir till it thickens up really nice. It's making like a little gravy with itself, like a little meat gravy, with all these wonderful flavors in there. Oh yeah, this is doing great. Okay, I think that's, we don't even, I don't even need this other, oh, it's about half a tablespoon left. So I used about 1.5 tablespoons. It's always different, so have it ready. But you just want to sprinkle in there like I did. You don't want to dump it. And this is nice and thickening up already. And so here's what we're going to do. Let me finish this. I'm going to probably cook it maybe just a couple more minutes, literally 2 or 3 minutes tops. This will be thickening. And then, I don't know if you can already see, I'm already getting my other supplies out, ready to get these puppies frying here. So let me thicken this up, and after this thickens up, I'm going to cool it for a little while. I'm going to take it out of this hot pan. I'm going to cool it off, because you don't want hot meat filling in with your pastry. It'll just make it fall apart and you have a big old yucky mess, okay? So we've thickened this up, and I'll be back, and then we're going to put these beautiful pastries together, okay? We'll be back again. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back after yet another set change. So I could get my cast iron skillet. As you can see, it's hot. I've already got my grease in it. If you got a deep fryer, knock yourself out. I have to flip mine. That's how I do it. So I've got my I like to fry in my cast iron skillet, and I've got I'm thinking about 2 to 2.5 cups of oil in there. I don't know. And here's my nice cool down meat mixture. Couldn't have come out more perfect. It's really good. And here's what I use to get it in my pastry filling. I just use a couple of these, you know. It's going to be 2 or 3 tablespoons. I'll have to see how these work out. And I'm sorry if you see my hair blowing around. It's hot in here with all these lights, and I do have a fan. I am a fan person. So if you're a fan person, that's for you. Okay, we're making a little egg wash here. I've already got my egg cracked in a bowl. I'm just going to whisk this up. Use the egg wash. You're just going to, I guess you can paint the whole thing if you want to be fancy, but you don't have to. I'm just going to use it to crimp and seal my pastries. Now, 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. So I'm putting 1 tablespoon. I just grabbed the wrong measuring utensil. So here's my egg wash. Already ready. That's good. Let me remove this. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. A little splash of egg. Alright. Here's my I'm going to cut this pastry with that knife, and this is going to be my measuring guide. Alright. So next, we got the egg wash ready. So here's that beautiful dough that I made in the previous video for these meat pies. So here's my dough. Now this time I do want a little flour on my board. A little bit, not too much. I got that tablespoon down in there too, don't I? There's my tablespoon. Just sprinkle a little bit out. Don't need a whole lot. Alright, that should be good. Take our little ball. I had this refrigerated the whole time. It was a little bit hard to work with for the camera, so I just nuked it for 20 seconds. You can do the same thing. It wasn't frozen, it was in the fridge, but it was pretty hard to work with, so we're going to work with this. Now I need to put a little flour on my rolling pin here, so let me do that. Alright. Now we're going to start rolling this out. I'm not shaking this table too much for you. Got to get a little elbow grease to get this rolling. I'll have to stand up over it for a minute. You don't want them too thin, you don't want them too thick. About thin as you would for a pie crust, you know. That's about how thin you want to go. Should roll out more this way, I think I will. Alright, put the pressure down on that. Thin it out. Okay. Now, it's a little thick right there. I'll thin that out just a tad. Alright. That's pretty good. So now I'm going to take my handy dandy little just plain old bread and butter plate. And I'm using the dull side of the knife. I'm just going to roll around here. This makes it perfect size for meat pie. See, I'm going to do another one. Come right up on hit in the edge here. And see how easy this is. I might can get 4 out of this, I don't know. Well, no, I'm not going to get 4 out of it. But we're going to get started with these anyway, so. Pick this up. That way we can get these started for you on the camera. You get the idea. See here? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Alright. So, now, I'll move my meat mixture up right here. And let's see, you're gonna, here's your guide. You're gonna fold these in half. So here's your crease here, and you're not only gonna put meat on one side. Look, right here in the middle, close. You want to keep at least about a ½ inch margin here, because this is where you're gonna close it. And if you overfill it, it's just gonna fall apart and be icky. And this is about 3 tablespoons, I think. This might be a little too full. We'll have to see. I think it's going to be just about right though. I'll probably try to measure that for you. Alright, then you just fold it over. Well, first of all, me and my big mouth with egg wash, I forgot that, didn't I? After all that talking about it. And you don't want a lot. You don't want a lot. A regular egg wash is, the ratio is 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of water or milk. I just use water. And I try to get off my excess. I don't want a bunch of eggs showing up in my fried meat pie. I'm just wanting to crimp this. You don't want globs of egg on your stuff. So that's real thin right there. It's very thin. I hope the camera might not gonna pick that up. Let me see. See if I can pick this up to show you. Can you see that shiny right there? There you go. See, it's really thin. And I'm gonna fold this over. Just easily fold it over. Alright, and then we'll take my fork here, and we're just going to go along the edge, and the egg wash is like glue, and it just helps you keep it sealed. Or it's sealed really well, you don't want it. Now, here's the other thing you got to do. Come along here, take your fork, give it 3 or 4 good pokes, like that. That's to let the steam out while it's cooking, okay? So now we're going to put this in. Got my grease on about 375. We'll put that in. Now we're going to do another. Okay, so here we go. Again, here's your crease, so you don't want to go past here with your meat. Now you know you can make these bigger if you want to. You just have to get you a breakfast plate size or something, you know, smaller than a dinner plate. I don't know, I wouldn't go very big though. And I wouldn't go very small unless you're making hors d'oeuvres with it. You could make hors d'oeuvres with it if you made little tiny ones. That'd actually be a pretty cool little hors d'oeuvre for a party, wouldn't it? I think I can get this a little bit more here. Yeah, I can. And remember, you just want to keep at least a ½ inch of a margin. And you want to brush off your egg wash. You don't want it dripping like this, so you don't want it dripping. You want it very light. You want it very light. Now just come along. And I'm just doing this edge. It helps it to glue it down, keep it together. You don't want it falling apart in your pan. And I just go back and forth till I feel like I've got a nice thin I'll fold over. Again, take your fingers and kind of press around gently. Gently, you don't want to tear that dough. Then you take your fork, start one end, boop. Makes it pretty. I think they have those professional crimpers and all that, but hey, guess what? This works. This old school works fine for me. There's that, and then, of course, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Then we're going to ease that into my grease. You get the idea? And I don't know, we're gonna probably, I think we're gonna cook about 7-8 minutes total. So I've actually got enough grease, I might not need to really flip till the very end. So let me get these going. I'm gonna time them, and then we'll come right back when I get some more dough rolled out and we get some more going, okay? We'll be back. Okay, we're back. As you can see, I'm still cooking, and I've got some done I wanted to show you, and I want to make a couple of notations. This meat mixture is going to make a lot of meat pies. You can do one or two things, either make a whole bunch up at one time, or you can freeze it. I do that all the time if I don't feel like making more. But the previous video, and I'm going to make a notation on that as well. To do this, you need, it depends on how many people you're feeding, but out of one recipe of dough, using an average bread and butter plate, this is about maybe 5 to 6 inches across. I don't know, I have to measure it. But anything from about 5 to 6 inches, you're going to get about five pies out of it, 5 circles out of each pie round. You make it smaller, you make them bigger. I wouldn't make them too big. So having said that, I just want to tell you I'm going to make notations of that. You can see I've still got them frying, but I want to show you these. I hope you enjoy these. They look good. I want to show you I'm not perfect. Here's one I got, some of that flaked off, but it's still light and flaky. This is great, but it's still very hot. Woo! And here's one I want to tell you, which brings me to my other note. You want to keep your dough cold. If you're going to be going too slow or something, just cut half of it, put the other half back in the fridge. You really want your dough to be cold to be working with these, okay? And they're just perfect, man. My kids already sampled them. They're just out of this world. And I want to show you another thing. I got to talking to one of my sons, and look here. I did not use the egg wash. And I want to show you that's what happened. This is still edible. It's still good. But it just didn't seal correctly, okay? Other than that, it's gorgeous. And I want to show you another trick. I had a little orphan dough, as I call it. And so I was telling you about hors d'oeuvres for a party. Now these aren't as pretty. I was being in a rush, but these would be great for an hors d'oeuvre at a party, and it'd be very original because this is not something you run into. But anyway, these are wonderful bite size. You can make them all little. I just used this measuring cup I had here, but it's the same size as about a medium size. It's the same size as about regular biscuit cutter or cookie cutter, okay, for sugar cookies. So anyway, that's what you'll get out of one recipe is 5 pies plus either a medium size little one or just 2 little ones, okay? That's what you're going to get. So have that in mind. This meat mixture can easily handle 3 dough recipes worth. If you've got a big food processor, make 2 recipes of the dough at one time, just double it. If you don't want to make that many, cut this recipe in half. And I'll have all these notations on there, but I just wanted to know I told you that, okay? And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like it. And I'm going to break into this small one right here. I just want to show you. It is just gorgeous. Look at that. And it tastes every bit as good as it looks. Okay? So, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. And we're going to come back. We're going to be making peach cobbler. Okay? I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.